everyone, this is Michelle over here at Bunebape, and today I'm going to be doing a quick guide to go over Scurrius' mechanics and how to kill the Rat King. Scurrius is a brand new mid-level boss that gives some of the best combat XP in the game, while also rewarding alkables, 3 new rat bone weapons, and a mini Scurry pet. If you're interested in the loot you can expect from this boss, or curious how to make the new rat weapons, I have 2 videos out already showing loot from 100 KC and how to make all 3 of the new bone weapons. Scurrius was specifically designed to help players learn how to switch prayers and deal with multiple attacks in a single fight, so it's only fitting that you can also use any attack type against him. So for gear, we're going to start out first with mid-level suggestions. For melee, it's recommended to use a Helm of Neatsnot, Amulet of Fury, Fire Cape, Fighter Torso, Dragon Plate Legs, Bone Mace, Dragon Defender, Raida's Blessing, Rune Gloves, Dragon Boots, Berserker Ring Imbued, and for a special attack, bring a Dragon Dagger. For mid-level range, the wiki suggests bringing Full Blessed D'hide along with an Amulet of Fury, Ava's Accumulator, Bone Shortbow, Amethyst Arrows, and the Imbued Archer's Ring. For mage, you're advised to bring full Bloodbark armor, an Occult Necklace, a God Cape, the Bone Staff, Book of Darkness, Raida's Blessing, and an Imbued Seer's Ring. Of course, if you don't have access to any of this gear, you can just downgrade to your next best option that you own. Specifically for the suggested bone weapons, the next best suggested items are Sarachnis Cudgel, Imbued Magic Shortbow, and Trident of the Seas respectively. Moving on to high level gear suggestions. For melee, your best in slot gear is going to be full Torva with an Amulet of Torture, Infernal Cape, Scythe Averter, Raida's Blessing, Ferocious Gloves, Primordial Boots, Altar Ring, and as a special attack weapon, Dragon Claws. Alternatively, you could bring a Bone Mace and a Vernic Defender instead of the Scythe. For range, you should bring full Fortified Masori, a Necklace of Anguish, Ava's Assembler, Zerite Crossbow, Twisted Buckler, Enchanted Ruby Dragon Bolts, Zerite Vambrances, and a Venator Ring. Finally, for high-level mage, it's suggested to bring full Ancestral, an Occult Necklace, Imbued God Cape, Tunic Shadow, Raida's Blessing, Tormented Bracelet, Eternal Boots, and a Magus Ring. Just like with the mid-level gear, all these can be downgraded as needed, with the weapons changing to any of the bone weapons or the Grazier Rapier, Toxic Blowpipe with Amethyst or Bare Darts, or a Trident of the Swamp. The type of gear you use is totally dependent on what you personally want to train or what combat type you think that you'll do the most damage with. Regardless of your setup, if you have access to any of the bone weapons, you should be bringing on every single trip to kill the summon rats quickly. For the rest of the inventory, I'd personally recommend bringing 3 Divine Super Combats, 4 Anglerfish as emergency food, 12 Prayer Pots, Explorer's Ring for alkables, Imbued Heart, Tellies out of the fight, Runes for Thralls and Death Charge being Death, Blood, Chaos, Soul, and Fire runes, the Book of the Dead, a special attack weapon, and a weapon for the rats. If using Thralls and Death Charge, make sure that you are in the Arceus spellbook. Scurrius is located in the Varrock sewers, so you can just use the Varrock Telly tab to send you to the city square, then run northeast to enter the sewers. From here, you'll follow the rats to the east and find a busted open gate in Historian Aldo, who can tell you a bit about Scurrius if you're interested. Right-click the broken gate and choose to enter the public room or a private instance. Just a heads up though, if you do go to the master room, you will only be eligible for the pet drop if you're the one to get MVP. Moving on to boss mechanics. Scurrius is actually 3 different rats all combined, and as such has 3 different main attack styles. The main body, the large brown rat with red eyes, attacks with melee, which is indicated by him slamming his tail. This can be avoided with Protect from Melee. The light gray rat with blue eyes wearing a blue hood is the major, and his attacks look like lightning shooting out at you. You can Protect from Mage to save against this attack. The final rat is a darker gray with green eyes and is the ranger, who throws rotten cheese at you, which looks a bit like a small green cloud, and can be protected against by using the range overhead. As well as these main attacks, the boss has multiple special attacks. The first one being a rubble attack. During this attack, Scurrius will jump, causing rubble to fall all over the fight area. The rubble is indicated by small shadows on the ground, which you can move to avoid. One of these attacks will always land where you're standing, so take care to move at least a tile over to avoid the 15+ damage. Next is his healing special. After reaching 80% health, Scurrius will occasionally go to a pile of rotten cheese and eat to heal up 5 or 10 health every few seconds. While he's eating, he'll only use the range, mage, and rubble attack. You can still damage Scurrius while he's healing. Scurrius' final special is his summoning attack. Occasionally during the fights, the Rat King will screech, summoning 6 level 46 giant rats to appear. These rats are super accurate and can't be totally prayed against, but praying melee will make their damage max at 1. These rats will die in 1 hit regardless of how much damage you do. I would highly recommend bringing a piece of rat bone weaponry as soon as you unlock it to use against these spawns, as it has no attack delay specifically against this mob. If you don't have the weapon yet, I also use either the ham joint or a blowpipe. You can also try and block the rats by running to the opposite side of Scurrius from them so that the boss is acting almost like a shield for you. If you're lower level, it's worthwhile to kill the rats as they spawn while trying to pray the correct overheads. These rats will stay summoned even after the boss is dead, so you will eventually have to kill them. Now onto the actual fight. During phase 1, the start of the fight, Scurrius will spawn in the east side of the room and begin attacking with his melee and rubble attacks. Pray melee during this phase and move at least 1 tile away from any shadows on the ground when rubble is falling. Once he reaches 80% of his health, aka phase 2, he'll go to a random food pile and begin healing. And at this point, you should start watching his attacks to see if you need to pray range or mage, but don't worry too much, the attacks are slower so you have a decent amount of time to react. They don't actually hit until the attack makes contact with your character. While the eating animation shows him eating 10 times, he actually only heals 5 times. But after the 10th animation, he'll resume attacking you with melee, occasionally going back to the food piles to heal again. He may also summon his little rat minions during this or the next phase. After either eating from every pile of food or reaching 30% health, whichever one comes first, Scurrius will enter his 3rd and final phase. He'll move to the middle of the room and begin to attack you with only range or mage attacks while summoning rats or constantly causing rubble to fall down. This is definitely the most overwhelming part of the fight, but if you just primarily focus on the rubble attacks and your prayers next, you should be able to get through this phase easily and kill the boss. The spawn time isn't too long, Scurrius will be back to life in around 15 seconds for you to fight again. I also wanted to share some extra tips that I found helpful over time. Every 10 minutes you can go and eat from one of Scurrius' cheese pals to heal yourself up to full health. To take advantage of this, the boss and all rat summons must be dead though. If you're ever not sure what to pray, just pray melee as this is Scurrius' fastest and most accurate attack. Even though Scurrius drops rat meat with every single KC, you're unable to build a fire in the fight room as it's too damp. For the same reason, you cannot bring a cannon with you to fight this boss. If you're comfortable with the boss and trying to stay for longer trips, I eventually started to bring an SGS for my special attack weapon to heal me and give me more prayer, and a Blood Fury to keep my health high. Guthans is also a viable option if you want to bring more prayer and less food. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know if this guide helped you, and if you have any more tips for learners just getting into this new boss. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also catch me live on Twitch 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape, and every Thursday on the OSRS podcast I co-host, also called Bunebape, which can be found on this channel or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.